Go. Why, George, what is it that you're reading, sir?
Oh, it's a very uh, advanced book. You have to be at least 3 years old to read this.
Oh gosh, that's way too sophisticated for this channel, my friend. Welcome for those of you who are just tuned in. This is Simon, and Josh, or Josh, if you're American, where we are time zones and time meters, I guess, or at least we are for today. This is a weekly Zoom-based sort of podcast where Simon and I chat about music, and today we're talking about what we've been listening to this month. And for you, Simon, has it been a busy listening month? How's it been?
Yeah, maybe a little less than usual, like a little more concentrated on certain albums instead of being all over the place, having two listens per album.
Yeah,
How
okay.
about you?
Me, I've been all over the place. Quite a few
Yeah,
playlists actually, because I've jumped across to Tidal now. I was sort of
yeah.
putting together my sort of master, um, I guess you call it like prog wandering sort of playlist where I put three bands from like my favorite, sorry, three songs from my favorite bands and just basically make like a colossal playlist. And the idea is that I could give it to someone who's like following the Instagram or whatever, and they can sort of tune in on it and hit a scramble and just find something that I love. And there should be a lot of variety in it as well. So I was sort of putting that together, and I've been experimenting a little bit with that too. So
But
yeah,
this is interesting because I did not really immediately quit Spotify because I realized I need it for work.
all right.
So Tidal is something that would be interesting for me as well. But then I understood that there are these services that you can use to just transfer your playlists.
Yeah, and my Spotifist. That's what we
Spot
should do. We should create a
Spotify.
new one called Spotifist. No, my Spotify playlists are all over the place. I've got like 45, and I don't want to directly transfer them across. I prefer to just start again. So I'm at the moment looking at the Spotify playlist, saying what do I like about it, what would I change about it, and trying my best to kind of set that up a little bit, and then sort of rejig a few things because some of them are like artist ones. So, for example, I have like a Hagen playlist where I've got like the best of all of the discography stuff that we've done before, and so that would be an immediate transfer if I wanted to, and I'll definitely do that. But for some of the other ones, they're a bit of a creative works, and it's kind of, for example, like what do I want to listen to if I'm driving home from work and I need a uplifting, happy kind of thing, and I don't want to do a set album, and I want a bit of variety. So so anyway, so it's that kind of thing, and so I'm just gonna have fun retweaking it, and I would enjoy doing that anyway, regardless of what streaming service I'm on. So that's what I was sort of spending some time
Have you
doing.
tried any of these transfer services?
No, however, I'm pretty sure Tidal has a few recommended ways to do it. And so I noticed that there was some YouTube stuff that was up there that I was just going to jump online and just kind of go, what do they recommend? And just sort of copy that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Uh, cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
What have you been listening to?
so new things. That's what I mean. So I've been sort of jumping into all sorts of artists really. So again, just like last month, I've continued my Moron Police stuff. I've done a little bit of their previous album, the one like previous to the most recent one that we listened to, and rated
Gin
from
Cole?
last year. That's right. And so it's great too. I've quite enjoyed it. It doesn't have quite the same like it's definitely good, but it doesn't quite have the magic of this one. But I think one of the things I love about that album so much is this sort of happy vibe, but it's got these undertones that kind of sit there that I think are a little bit sort of, it's kind of like we're singing really happy, but there's just some commentary and stuff that's underneath it, which is a bit darker. And I kind of really like that about Pachinko. Um, but anyway, but I was checking a little bit of that out, a little bit of their previous stuff, and I'll probably do a deep dive this month on their previous
Did you listen
discography.
to A Boat on the Sea from 2019?
I did, yes. I haven't done a lot of that one. I did Defenders of the Small Yard was the one that I spent a little bit more time on. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so I've
I
done that
remember
3 times.
Captain Awkward being a great track from that album.
Let me see if I've listened to this before.
That
Captain,
one
Awkward. I haven't in the last 30 days anyway, not according to my last FM.
Oh, I can recommend it for the upcoming 30 days.
I will definitely check it out, my friend. I'll spend a fair bit of time, I think, on that album, specifically A Boat on the Sea too. But and sort of get a good feel for it, if you will. But yeah, what about you? Do you want to talk about like a just say an artist that you've been listening to, and then we'll go back and forwards maybe.
Well, yeah, like my new favorite band dropped an album last month that I was very excited about.
Hmm.
So I went ahead and pre-ordered it, which I haven't done before ever.
Hmm.
I'm
Big
talking
big
about
train, big
yes,
train.
yes, and
Wow.
it's a double album, woodcut, um, a thematic album about a artist, a woodcutter, I guess, and
A
something just
lumberjack.
yeah, it's not a lumberjack is someone who's just working for lumber, just cutting it down, right? This is someone who makes art out of these woodcuts,
Hmm.
uh, and 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 this being
Yeah, the top
like a
down
piece.
tree thing.
Yeah, so it kind of starts with him having a bit of a um, like a lack of inspiration, or and then it just comes to him with this magic piece of of woodcut, and it just comes from somewhere outside, or some they sing someone or something knows what to do, and then
Mm.
he creates his masterpiece. And I would also say that this is also their masterpiece. I would say this is like their best album that I have heard. They have a kind of a extensive discography, so I haven't actually heard everything they've done. I'm still discovering them, but I'm very happy that I picked this one up because it has been on repeat. And these four sides. Now I'm like in a um, torn between what side do I enjoy the most, and I think that actually the side uh, LP2, side B, or side 4, or side D, or however you want to say it.
Hmm.
The last side is my favorite, that has a fantastic instrumental song, Cut and Run, which is like prog galore. Um, yeah, I cannot recommend this album
So I've
strong
done it.
enough.
So I've been
Yeah,
listening to that a little bit as well. So that was on my thing to talk about.
what are your
What
thoughts?
my thoughts were, it was good on a first through. I haven't done it nearly enough. I've played the first half of it 3 times,
Okay,
but every time I get through half of it, I have to turn it off. So because it's a bit longer. Do you know how many minutes it is?
good question, good question.
I feel like
I
it's
can
pretty
add
long.
everything up here,
Oh, right.
but that's
I
gonna take
should.
me some time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter. But I think I've done the first half 3 times, but I'm not as familiar with the second half. I've only done it once. So once you get through to uh, Chimera, Cut and Run, Dead Point, Dreams in Black and White, and Light Without Heat, I've only done those songs once. So, but the others I've all done 3 times. And look, it seems really solid, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah,
but for my once through, I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. So my plan is to definitely go back to it. I quite liked Folklore. Is it Folklore by these guys?
Folklore is
Or
an
that's a
album by
track.
them.
Yeah, so I quite liked that. That's been my favorite to date. But this
Yeah,
one looks to be pretty promising. So I'm going to continue doing it. I quite like the way this album starts as well. To me, I just sort of like the way it kind of builds. So anyway, yeah, definitely check it out,
yeah. I have
everyone.
to say, like the first real track. There's an intro that is
Hmm.
less than a minute, and then you have the artist, which is I've been raving about that track before because I think that song just have every component that I want from a prog track, with like it's just fantastic. All they have these old time meters, and very emotional singing, and it's a longer song. It's 7 minutes.
Hmm.
Actually, it's the longest song of the track, or of the album.
Is it
Uh,
really?
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh,
it is a concept album where everything flows together. So it's, I'm a sucker for long songs, but still, I don't feel that I'm missing out.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, for sure, that is maybe my second favorite track. When I wrote this, review on Instagram of it, I said that this is like a um, Bohemian Rhapsody of this time, but it will never get the recognition of Bohemian Rhapsody. But like that is how good it is.
mm,
Actually, I think they even quote in the booklet here. They actually quote even Bohemian Rhapsody, I think. And I know that Alberto Bravin, so their new lead vocalist since uh, Dave Longdon passed away, that was the vocalist of Folklore, that he is a huge Queen fan. So, maybe this connection is not so far fetched.
yep,
But I mean, I think stylistically, maybe it's still more in the Genesis or like, yeah, I think like, I stick to my description of this band is like what I imagine Genesis would have turned into if Peter Gabriel didn't leave, and
yeah. They
they
stayed in
would
the
have
same.
kept working together. Then I imagine it would be something a little bit like this,
Yep,
at least in the early, around 1980 maybe.
yep. Yeah,
If,
okay, cool.
if Peter Gabriel was still in it for Duke, then maybe it would be a bit what Big Big Train sounds like. Yeah, yeah,
So I also continue doing the Carnival's new album. I've been enjoying that as I'm
yeah.
sort of delving into it properly now as well.
Mm.
So this is In Versus for those that don't know. Did we talk about this last month? Because that's when it dropped, didn't it? It dropped towards the end of last month, I think.
I think we briefly touched on it.
Yeah. So look, I think this is a really big, fantastic quality like album. Like this is a. I think that that it seems to be getting a lot of support, and a lot of people are talking about it being a contender, an early contender for album of the year. And I sort of stand
Yep.
by that. Like it's so far, it's really solid. And I think if I was to rate this album compared to last year's stuff, it would have definitely been in sort of the top five. So I think this is a really strong album, and the more I get into it, the more I'm really enjoying it. I quite love, I think it's pronounced like Azora, which I think, or Azora, yeah, which is really fantastic. I love Drone. Opal's good. Animation is maybe my favorite on the track. Ghost is a great beginning. Look, it's just a really solid album. There's nothing bad in it. There's nothing mediocre in it either. I don't think. I think it's a fine album. I think it's a good, if not better than good album. And I'm really sort of enjoying. I guess Ian Kenny's voice is. It's nice to hear him again in something that's not like Birds of Tokyo. Because that's obviously his other band that he's done work with. And I just missed the guitar sounds. I just really did, and his voice, sort of bounces off the sort of darker, distortion heavy guitar work from in Carnival's works just so beautifully well. So I love it. I think it's good. This is a really imaginative, at times part as well. So here's one. Within the album, there's birds. I don't know if most people would pick up on them, but as an Australian who has grown up, born and bred in Australia, the birds are highly identifiable. Like these are all noises that are my childhood, that are my adulthood. They mean you are in Australia as far as I'm concerned. And so there's little things like that in it, which I just think is wonderful. I love the bagpipes ending as well. It ends on bagpipes, and I think that's a rather bold statement, if you know what I mean. Like it's either people are going to love it or hate it, but there's some really cool stuff in it, and I think it's oh, look, I think this is a really good album. I don't think it's as good as Sound Awake, or at least I don't believe it is. But in saying that, it'd be up there for second best album they've done, I think, and that's pretty big because The Martyr was wonderful. And asymmetry, as I sometimes call it, I don't want to talk too much about because it wasn't my cup of tea. Although there were some great tracks in it. Anyway, what do you think of it? You've listened to it, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if I heard every song on it. I think that some stuff is just wonderful, and some stuff doesn't really, blow me away. I also enjoyed Azura, that single indeed. I actually enjoyed Ghost a whole lot.
Hmm.
Uh, Drone a little less.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think it's quite hooky. I like it.
Yeah, well, and that is what is on top of my mind from this one. When we spoke in private, you also said that there was so many tracks that was released beforehand that like your first impression did not, like
Yeah, and so I'm deliberately holding off on a few future albums for this year that have already had a few singles dropping because
yeah,
I want to be immersed in the moment. I want to get really excited about sort of playing it. And I think if I've had three other albums that, oh, sorry, three other singles that have been dropped previously, it just felt smaller. And I'd heard, so they dropped three singles and they had played two of the tracks, Ghost and Azora live as well, that I'd seen them play those live. So they, even those weren't new. So it kind of felt to me like animation, reanimation, and all it takes was released like a million years ago. So that was like 5 years ago or something. And so because of
oh,
it, it
yeah,
felt like there was only like four tracks that I really had not heard before. So yeah, I'm letting this be the album that says don't listen to tracks early.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
get like get excited. Maybe listen to it once through one of them just to get a bit of a feeling for it. But resist the temptation and just be patient so you can sit down with the album, have a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
cup of tea, or whatever, and just go from there. You know?
Yeah, that's totally how I deliberately did it with this one because they also released several singles.
Yeah.
Um, but I heard the first one. I thought, okay, this is gonna be the one. I'm gonna have a like one listen of the next one just to make sure that it's not a flash in the pan,
Yeah.
or and I decided it wasn't, and then I went for it. Um, to me, this is I I'm having a hard time imagining that something will beat this for album of the year.
Yeah. Look, it
For
seems
me, for
pretty.
me.
It seems pretty solid, man. Like, so in saying that, I think we've got already, you and I have mentioned two very good albums.
But it's easy to think that when you're up in it, and
Yeah.
maybe
Which is why we're going to do a best of 2025 in 6 months.
yeah, yeah. Okay, my second thing was, let's see if I get the right one here. Um, this was a special one. A friend that's been on the show that has his own project. It's called Ozul, and I asked him if he was going to release anything on vinyl, and then he was like, "Yeah, but the thing is, if you make a vinyl, you're going to end up with uh, a
A massive storeroom full of vinyl, basically.
yeah, and then you got 100 vinyls, and you broke, and
Yeah.
what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
So eventually, there's this service or company that is called Elastic Stage that makes these things more or less on demand, so that
Oh,
you
that's
you can
cool.
order one and they will press one for you. And yeah, so basically, what it is, the artist basically doesn't make anything from it, but the product is out there. And for Paulo, I think that's, yeah, it's fitting. It's a passion project of his, right? He has a different day job. um so I ordered this thing,
Yeah, cool.
and it took some time before it got here, and I pulled it out, and I thought, whoa, this is a freaky inner sleeve.
Hmm.
And then and then I put it on the album, and I was like, damn, this is more psychedelic than I remember it.
Yeah,
because I
it should be
have heard
darker. It
this
should be
album.
should be more like Opeth, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly. But on that being said, it was released in 2023. You know, I haven't heard it too many times, and it was a long time ago I heard it. So, you know, I was like, yeah, is this really it? Eventually, I understood that. Well, crap, they sent me the wrong album in a sleeve. You know, I don't want to give anybody bad publicity here because they were kind enough to just send it again,
Yep.
and now I have
What?
the good one.
Okay. Okay, Simon.
Yeah,
So here we're going to cut you off, right?
yeah,
What I want to know, like adventures aside,
yeah.
if you looked at those two albums side by side, is Ozul, Paolo, our friend, superior to what was sent to you?
Yes, yes, yeah.
What is this
I
other
really,
album like then? Like, is it, did you
yeah.
bother to listen to it much? Was it okay? Or,
Yeah, I gave it a spin, but you know, and once again, you know, context is so important. Of course, I was upset, so you know, I'm gonna give it a spin later as well. For anyone who's interested in what did I, that's the thing. Also, it's super difficult to read here, so it
what's it
was
called? The
like, what?
nursing something.
Yes,
Put it
see
up,
if
let
you
me
can.
try.
Yeah.
The, oh my God, unsung, no? Snakes. No, is that
Missing,
snakes?
I think, or uns.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. Well,
I believe it was called TV.
what?
Uh, what the heck was it now again?
Come on, man.
I managed to like, yes. See, so that's the thing. It was super difficult. Yeah. So, computer water or something. Underwater computing is
Put that back
is
up. I
under.
can't.
No, it doesn't say there, but it says here.
Oh,
Uh,
dude,
un,
if anyone knows of who this band is, let us know. Surely it's
I
written
mean,
somewhere else.
they're on Bandcamp. Underwater computing. It is like. I don't know if I think you would put this in the category of like ambient trance, maybe.
Okay,
Is
that's very different to Polo.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
let's roll back to our friend, our guest. What's his album
yeah.
like in your opinion?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It's very mellow. It is indeed also reminiscent of like the soft opeth.
Hmm.
It is in that category of music, you know, like
Yeah,
Damnation.
yeah,
Like that album, which of you know it makes sense. It's one of his favorite albums, right?
yeah.
And I think, but he has very Gilmorian guitar solos on it. I think like my like the high points of this album is on I believe the Winds of Ruins on side B here. There's a beautiful guitar solo. And on the beginning of Will You, which is the last song of side A, he plays with the time meter like a polyrhythm thing that is just beautiful. Like it starts with only keyboards, and then the drums kick in, and they kick in a different
Okay,
time meter, you know?
yeah.
So it's so I mean essentially a polyrhythm, unless I'm talking out of my ass here. But anyway, it sounds super cool.
I'm gonna
Um,
look. I'm gonna have to go back to it because I did it originally before our session, and I also
yeah,
did it a few bits and pieces before that as well when he first came to our sort of awareness. But I haven't, in all honesty, given it enough time, so I need to at least so I can familiarly sort of comment, if you will. So okay,
yeah, yeah. And I think like if I stand by what my original thoughts were, which is like the only downside with this is that I think it's not super catchy. So like that also means that you are less prone to come back to it because it's not like you think, oh yeah, that track, that's how it went.
yeah, I
I
got you.
want to listen to that track, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
which is not at all a criticism of the work how it is, but it can indeed stifle your success maybe a little bit.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, it's I love it. I think it's super fun to to have this on vinyl as well, and I've been playing it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. I also did a little bit more of OK Goodnight. I did Limbo, which was another album by them, but I only went through it once. And I've still continued sitting on The Fox and the Bird too. So I'm up to a total of, I think, like 140 Scrobles total, which is probably about 10 times through the album, give or take, adding a few extras for my favorite songs and tracks. So this is continuing to be one of the better things that I've heard in recent times. I just absolutely love it. So I just thought I'd mention that I've still done a fair bit of that too. We've got Big Big Train down here. Oh, I know what I did. So I've been doing Puscifer's new album. So
this is with Maynard,
yeah,
right?
this is
Or
Maynard's third project. I think it's his third. So the first one's Tool, in
so
my
the
opinion.
vocalist from Tool for the ones that were not
Excuse me. Yeah, that's right.
listening.
So the
Yeah.
vocalist from Tool, also the vocalist from A Perfect Circle, and this is his sort of. I think it's more of a muck around, experimental sort of rock group where they just sort of are a bit tongue in cheek and a bit maybe a bit more experimental in terms of they don't have a set sound. And so I've done their most recent album, which was Impetuous, which was released in January 2026. Now, I'm not super familiar with this band's works. I'm very familiar with A Perfect Circle, and I'm pretty familiar with Tool, obviously, as well. But in saying that, this band I haven't done too much of, and especially because of the, I don't know, there's something about the name and the constant like potty mouth kind of ideas behind it. I just kind of, I'm a little bit turned off by that, you know. But in saying it, I think it's really interesting, and I don't know if I'll go back to it, but I've done Impetuous now. Let me just have a look. Oh, sorry, it's not Impetuous. It's called In Case You Were
Normal
Napping.
isn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, In
okay.
Case You Were Napping. Sorry, wrong album. And I've done In Case You Were
The
Napping.
new one
Like
is called Normal Isn't.
I've got In Case You Were Napping written down. Let me have a look here.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, they released two
Yeah, there
albums
you
this
go.
year.
So I'm talking specifically about In Case You Were Napping. So we're talking about the
It
one
was
that has
released
like,
July 28th, and then they released the album Normal Isn't in February this year. So just
yes,
last month.
there you go. So, okay, so I've done In Case You Were Napping then. And let me just check. I'm wondering about my stats here. Maybe I'm off. No, I've also done the other one of once and a half through as well. So look, I think
Hmm.
look it's creative. It's kind of cool sounding. It's a little bit different. I don't know if I'd go back to it. It's not particularly progressive in any way, shape, or form. Um, Look, I would love to hear what other people think about it because I haven't actually read up on this album either. I've just sort of decided to sort of dip my toe in, see what I thought of it. I thought it was passable, definitely. I thought some of it was cool as well. You know, when you just get a certain tone or a certain sound or a certain verse or something that comes out in music and you just go, oh, yeah, nice. That's what I've experienced with it so far. But I was not blown away by the composition. The sound was pretty good. The production level was like top quality. But in saying that, you know, it's not necessarily my jam. Let's put it that way.
Oh
But
yeah.
worth definitely checking out. And I want to hear from other people in the background, if possible, too, about the band, what they think about them, and also what they think about those two albums, if possible, because yeah, that's interesting. Maybe Last FM categorizes things a bit funny, but I missed that. I didn't realize I was listening to two different albums. Anyway, you don't have any experience with these guys, Simon?
Not at all. No, no. I've only heard about them. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, there you go. Let's what else have you been listening to? Let's jump back and forward again.
Well, I mean, there's a lot because you know I work with elderly people a lot, and
Hmm.
sometimes I get some LPs. So yeah, there's a bunch there, but you know I'm not. I thought I could mention. I didn't bring any more LPs to this room. I thought I could mention the. I've been listening to Helloween's release Giants and Monsters, which is like a funny thing that so classic German power metal band had their peak in like the late 80s, but I also listened a lot to them, saw them live in the early 2000s. And it's funny because like they've had three different singers through the years. One of them went to create Gamma Ray, which, well, also a power metal band, for
Hmm.
example. But now they have all three singers in the band, so they all like take turns, and so you have all eras in one basically.
Okay.
So that's fun, but it doesn't blow me away, so I haven't spent too much time with it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it was fun, just more like out of curiosity. I think it's a band that I haven't listened to for quite some time. Um, I discovered a new band called The Ripe. Have you heard them? They released
No.
the album Play the Game, and it was like an amazing throwback with this band because at least the two opening tracks really sound a whole bunch like, okay, there has been a like an 80s synth revival the last years, right? Within like the
Sure.
um, you know
I don't know if it's a
in top
revival so
40.
much as, but definitely there's like these roundabouts that are happening for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, a lot of like pop songs have, I think, like maybe starting with The Weeknd with you know,
Sorry, man. This
oh
if you're going to go down the pop route and popular music, you do. I'm
yeah,
not your man.
I'm also on thin ice if I'm going to talk about that. But I've
Slosh.
noticed, yeah, but I noticed that a lot of pop tunes in like the top 40 has been
Mm.
using like these keyboard synths that was cringy, but now it's cool again.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds like Aha and
Hmm.
these kind of bands, but also a couple of our progressive metal bands have reused it as well. Like for example,
Macros or whatever.
Riverside's latest, or Haken with that. What is it called? 1980.
5.
Yeah. So like, I mean,
How good am I at getting
even
that
there.
straight away?
Sorry.
Hey,
Yeah.
how good am I for getting
Yeah.
at 1985 straight away? I
Yeah.
love that
But
song.
this band Ripe, they do like a throwback to what wasn't synth in the 80s. So it sounds like a lot of like Phil Collins solo career, like a lot of brass and that kind of stuff, and very upbeat. Sounds like she's an easy lover, like that kinds of like happy, yeah, and a little bit of like early 90s alt rock, big mixed. I'm just getting into this album. It was very refreshing, like it doesn't sound like anything else right now, I would say.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
Love that.
I discovered, or like I took a listen to Cosmic Cathedral. Have you heard of that?
Maybe that actually
Uh,
does sound familiar.
It is what was his face? Steve Morse, Neal Morse. Oh,
So I wanted.
hej. Ja, var är nästan klar?
Lily wou niet delen met zijn vogeltje.
Lenny is heel handig geweest. Die heeft 1 verfset en 1 zo'n vogel die ze kan verven ingeladen voor Lily. En dat mag alleen Lily doen en zij niet. Echt top.
Als ze worden wel te delen, zei ze.
Zij Lily daar.
Ja.
Met ook dat ding. Ook die vogel. Kom maar Helene. Gaan we het oplossen beneden. Papa.
Moet je wel zeggen, Lily, je moet delen met één.
Okay, sorry. Where was I?
It's okay. Is everything okay?
Oh yeah, it's Neal Morse, one of Neal Morse projects. I'm not a big fan of Neal Morse, and when
So
listening
I
to
was going to
this,
talk to you about him. So this is great.
Oh
So
yeah,
you continue
okay.
with this, and we'll talk about Neil Morse in a second. Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean, the reason why I'm not a big fan of Neal Morse, or one of the reasons at least, is because it's a little bit worship music in a progressive sleeve,
Yeah.
and this, you hear it on the name of this project, Cosmic Cathedral, it just takes it too far, man. I can't, which one was it? It was like, I won't make it without you by my side. And you think, oh, Jesus, it's just, it was just too much. I can't deal with it. But
Yeah, okay.
they have a track called Time to Fly on there that is like very, very nice. That one I really do appreciate. But this album just goes too far for me.
So the reason I was going to bring them up is because they've just dropped, like the Neal Morse band has just dropped an album. And
Yeah,
so I've listened to it twice through now, I think.
yeah.
Actually, no, I haven't listened to it twice through. I've listened to it once through totally and just I've like dibbled in. And this one I actually sat down and did a focused listen because I've tried in the past and I can't remember which one it was that I tried. I think it was the Joseph and the Code of
Yeah,
Anything,
yeah,
whatever it was. Like
yeah.
I think I
I
did
know
that
which
one.
one. Yeah,
And which
yeah.
is obviously has biblical connotations as well. But this one here, I thought I'm going to give a go, and I want to sit down with it. And dude, this was good. Like
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was good.
I'm too
So,
I'm too scarred to revisit Steve
so here's the
Neal
thing: is
more.
for someone who, and I definitely know what you're talking about. When I listened to the last one, I did, and I come from a Christian background, so for me, I grew up hearing songs that were sort of, all about this sort of thing. They weren't they weren't there with the like progressive tab though. They were very simple. But in saying that, so the album's called Lift, Lift, and I don't know what Lift stands for, and I don't even know if it means to stand for anything. But this is
Ascension.
interesting, maybe. But this is interesting, and so I would recommend checking it out. And I'm going to go back to it because there was enough in this to make me go, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Even though it's not my jam, this reminded me of, and it was a focused listen as well. Frost.
Yeah,
Did you do Life in the Wires or whatever?
yeah.
Yeah. So this is better than that on one
Okay.
play. I've only done one play of it, but I would
Yeah.
say this is of that soundscape. It's got that sort of vibe, but there was something in this that made me go, "Oh, I like that." Now, it was a long album, if I remember. It was like, I'm just having a look here. It's
I'm sure it
14,
was.
it's 14 tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know the length of them all, but in saying that, like, look, anyway, at least now I know what you think. I'm very interested in checking this out. Now, I only just listened to this like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
No, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. So it's super early, and I've only done the one playthrough. But I did decide to just like I was driving, but I decided to put it on and really like focus in on it because I had an hour and a half drive, and I thought it was good. So
Did you also do the new Deftones?
no, I
No.
did
Okay.
not. I have not checked that out yet. And there's another album I haven't checked out yet as well, which I think just dropped, which is on my to listen list. But I'm not sure what that is because I don't have that list in front of me at the moment. But yeah, there's a bunch this year. I'm so excited, man. I know that Advent Horizon's going to release something later in the year. I know that the Deer Hunter are fully released. Like I listened to them this month, obviously too, because of our listening thing we did with Jacob Roberge.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about this next one, but I refuse to listen to it until the album drops. So I'm looking forward to the Deer Hunters new thing that they're dropping, and then I'm told Temic are going to release something this year, which is pretty cool. Because I love Temic's debut album, which was pretty good.
Regarding stuff that is going to be released,
Mhm.
I have there were rumors, hints from Robert Fripp that there might be something like Kim Crimson, you know, a Kim Crimson, new Kim Crimson music being
Okay.
released at some point. The weather would be very exciting if that is true.
Yeah, you'd
Uh,
lose your everything, wouldn't you?
your shit.
You'd
Yeah,
just fall
yeah,
apart.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Then I have to drop everything if that's the case. There's Wobbler had
Oh
been
yeah.
saying 2 years ago that next year there's gonna be a new Wobbler album, but it didn't come one, so I expect that there will be a new Wobbler this year. Um,
I have a
I
friend of mine who thought their last
expect,
album was great.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And Peter Gabriel, of course, already released, or he releases a new single every full moon, or new moon, every new moon. So, I mean, his album is obviously also coming. He did that with his last album as well, I.O., and this is O.I.
Mhm.
So they are obviously connected as well.
I've
That
got so the
said, I
two
would
bands
have
that I
not
was
been.
told to check out was
Yeah,
Draconian, who I've never heard of before. Have you heard of Draconian?
me neither. No,
Apparently they're
no.
good. There was also Blind Dead 23, which I'd never heard of as well, so I'll have to look those guys up. And then the last one, which I was a little bit excited to hear, was Segale, which is Sgaile, which I thought was a really
Yeah, you talked about them
cool
before. Yeah.
thing before. Yeah, I spoke about them last year at about this time, I think. Like it was a really early episode of ours. But I'm excited about that because I remember saying that I felt like that album that he released was like the beginning. Like I felt like the next album is going to be like he's got it right. He just has to refine it a little bit. And so I'm really excited about this next one because I'm predicting that it's going to be like a showstopper. Like I really believe it. So I feel like if it's kind of got the building blocks of the last one and just a little bit more time spent on just the composition just a little bit more. I feel like he had so many great things in the last one that this one's going to be exceptional. So I'm excited to hear that he got a deal with some like group, and so because of that, that's going to sort of fund him, I think, moving forwards, and he'll get it released this year. So that's exciting.
All right. I got
Yeah,
five more that I'm looking forward
go
to
go
this year.
go. Yeah, let's do it.
Or, if they are getting released.
Yeah.
Or four more, actually. There's Exodus, the old thrash metal band. Like, they have their vocalist Rob Dukes back. And well, actually March 20th, they release an album soon.
Oh,
So
cool.
that is fun. That is fun. It's one of the best thrash metal bands out there. Nevermore, who their singer died 15 years ago. I was lucky enough to see them before that, which is like a progressive metal. Yeah, progressive metal. I would put them in the
They were a
category
bit
like
like
kind of.
were they a little bit more like Symphony X kind of vibes?
I would say they're very harder than that. They were somewhere between thrash and power metal.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they're more aggressive than Symphony X are.
I thought I
Maybe.
had heard them, but I thought, oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
Symphony
and
X
like I
territory.
would
But
say that like they have one album that is just a freaking masterpiece,
okay.
which is this Godless Endeavor.
Okay.
That is so the absolutely something that Neal Morse wouldn't release, um,
Hey, he might though,
which is a
because
good thing. This is dark. This one released in 2005. This Godless Endeavor, and I saw it. I saw them on this tour. Fantastic. But now they have a new. They have like crazy good musicians, and they have a new singer who's Turkish. They actually have two band members that are Turkish now, but for the rest, it is a uh, North American band. I think they're from Seattle. Um, yeah, but so that will be fun to see what they come up with. Yeah, and I would say that maybe it's progressive light in that it's more metal than it's progressive, but it's very progressive. I think like it's very high tech musicianship. Um, and if you like Symphony X, at least the heavier stuff of Symphony X, then Nevermore is absolutely in your ballpark. Uh, that said, Symphony X has been saying for years that it will be new material, and I mean, it's now been 10 years since the last one, and I think it was 10 years before that one as well. So I think it's time again. I hope they release something. Crown Lands, which is one of the new names within prog rock. They should be releasing their third album. They kind of are somewhere in between Rush and Black Sabbath, sound-wise. They're gonna release their new album on May 16th. Also, they are a Canadian band, so of course they are inspired by Rush. I actually bought tickets to Rush
Yeah,
for
cool.
next year.
That's exciting.
That was the stuff that that is the stuff that I look forward to in 2026.
Yeah, okay. I did forget to mention because I've listened to a single released by Karmanjakah, who I had heard of before, but for some reason I hadn't listened to. And so they released a single called Dove because they're just about to release an album, I think. And I thought, oh, I'll look it up because I saw like a YouTube thing. And this is spelled Karmanjakah. And it's hard to explain. But like it's a niche sound, I guess you'd put it. What would they say here? Let me have a look. So it says that this unit was the beginning of the band Karmanjakah, which they described as the sound of an abandoned metropolis reclaimed by nature. Yeah, they did a debut self-titled EP in 2016 to much acclaim from the progressive metal community. So it's classed as prog metal, which I would definitely say it is. And yes, so they then recorded a debut album, a book about itself in 2019, and an album was finally released in 2021. Right, so that was their last one that they did, and this is a new album. And look, it says here that they can be described as dreamy, atmospheric, dynamic, solid progressive metal with a strong gent style. It'll appeal to fans of Periphery, Animals as Leaders, Pliny, Tesseract, Uneven Structures, those sorts of bands and stuff too. But look, I liked it. I thought it was pretty funky, and some of the stuff that they did with like the guitar work and stuff I thought was quite unique. It was a bit repetitive, but there was something about the sort of droning nature of what it went through was cool. So maybe check out that. I'm all for like sort of jumping just ever so slightly outside of my sort of standard comfort zones and stuff. And this one had some good vibes. So I'm going to check out Karmanjakah a lot more next month as well too. So I'll have to keep you guys posted on what it's like. You definitely haven't heard him, Simon.
Nope.
Yeah, cool. I reached
Can't
out
comment
to
on it.
I reached out to More Meditations, the guy who has a YouTube channel, and said I was pretty darn sure that he would like this band, and he wrote back saying, "Yep, I do." And I was like, "Oh, there you go." So I just got good vibes about that from him. I think maybe because he likes thrall music, and this might maybe even fall on the edge of that sort of genre as well. Which, look, go Google that. I can't explain it. But yeah, so maybe that's why I thought of him. But anyway, maybe go check that out too. I'm gonna have to hit him up. Surely he'd come join us. Surely, he said he might. So I'll have to talk with him. Anyway, Simon, I think I'm done for today. Are you done for today too?
Me too.
Yeah, cool. Look, thank you so much if you guys stuck around through our ramblings. I really appreciate the sort of people who write to us and talk to us about these episodes. I'm always surprised that people actually do listen. So if you've made it this far, please like and subscribe. Please, please, please. We'd love to hear from you. Please comment below as well. The more interaction we get, the sort of more fun Simon and I have with this entire venture. So please reach out. Yeah, till we meet again, Simon, I hope you listen to some really cool stuff. I do. And we'll have to be in contact. Did you want to finish up by saying anything? You good?
No, you say it best. So
Peace out. See you next time.
yeah,
Laters.
have a great
Bye.
listening month.
See you guys.
All right.